What is going on, guys? Andrew Hayes here, back with another review, and today I'm reviewing The Disaster Artist, which is the making of The Room, the best, worst movie ever made. It's a true story, and it's, how Tommy Wiseau, the director, writer, and producer of The Room, and star, and his best friend, Greg, how they meet each other, how they make the movie, and the aftermath of it. And, it's directed by James Franco, who also produced and stars in it, as Tommy Wiseau, and Dave Franco, who stars as his friend Greg. It also stars Seth Rogen and Alison Brie, Josh Hutcherson, Zac Efron's in the movie. Really good cast for this movie, and this is one that I was personally really looking forward to, because not only were the trailers really good, but The Room is personally my biggest guilty pleasure movie of all time. I mean, it is a really bad movie. It's probably the worst movie ever made, but, I sit down and I have a good time watching it, laughing and whatnot, and so it's a guilty pleasure. And I was also, when I found out that, I was always interested in seeing, how was this made, because, Tommy Wiseau came from nothing, and he was able to make this movie. Yes, it was bad, but I was interested to see, who Tommy was and what the backstory of the making of it, so that's also why I was really excited. And, I watched this movie, and throughout the whole time I had a smile on my face. This was a really fun movie, really funny movie. It has some, serious moments that are great. And, I love this movie. It's easily one of my favorites of the year. I really hope that come Oscar time, this gets some love, because James Franco, it's one of the best performances of the year. It's him as Tommy Wiseau, and his brother Dave as Greg. You could clearly see the chemistry they have, they're brothers, so that, chemistry's there, but it really works really well. I think I can't see any two other people playing these roles. And it's interesting because The Disaster Artist is based, it was a book first, and it's made by Dave Franco's character, Greg. And I was reading an interview from him, and he said, when he writing the book, he wanted it to be a movie, and he saw, Ryan Gosling playing him, and I forgot who he said could play Tommy. I think he said maybe Johnny Depp, but I'm happy with who ended up being, Tommy and Greg. I think that they did phenomenal, and, Seth Rogen, does a really good part. He's the script supervisor of The Room, and I think he does a fantastic job. And, honestly, this whole time it questions, things about Tommy and, who he is and what he's from. How does he get all this money? Because, The Room had a $6 million budget. Where do you get $6 million? $1 million is a lot of money, let alone 6. So where did he get all this money? And I think it really explores, answers all that really well. And this is I think because it's before, I like how they meet, and just this whole movie is just fantastic. I honestly don't have a single flaw with this movie. It's honestly very inspirational too, because while The Room wasn't good, it shows anybody can go out and go make a movie. Anybody. It may, at least I find it very inspirational. Yes, The Room wasn't a good movie, but still. Because in the beginning of the movie, they have a bunch of different actors and, directors and whatnot saying, why they like The Room and whatnot. They have J.J. Abrams and Keegan-Michael Key saying why they like it, and, they're right. Adam Scott says, this has been remembered for so long, over 10 years now, and it's 15, I think, now, and he goes, I don't even remember what movie won the Oscar that year. And it's true, this movie that is going to stand the test of time. Even though it's a bad movie, it's going to be remembered, and ultimately, at least for me, I'd rather have a movie that's remembered than And, you know, remember, for kind of the wrong reasons, but still, people find enjoyment out of it. And I find enjoyment out of it. So, you know, that's why I find it so inspirational. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I really would love to see some love at the Oscars for this movie. I don't know if it was happening. I really, really hope James Franco gets nominated because he does a fantastic job. And, you know, please be on the lookout for my next review. It's probably going to be Star Wars, so I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. But until next time, guys,